Hey, everybody. We're here talking about Proposition 64 with Ron Placone, Jim Earl, and Hank Thompson. Here's Proposition 64. What this does is it makes marijuana legal in California, but it has some, it puts a tax on cultivation. Right up there, you see that. You're going to put a tax on cultivation, and then they're going to put an excise tax, imposes a state tax of 15% on the retail sales. I'm all for taxing marijuana. I'm all for taxing it and taking that money and using it for something good. Marijuana people are proud to pay taxes, right? Wouldn't you agree? Now, so it also makes it illegal to direct market marijuana to minors. You have to be 21 and over to use it. I like that. These are all good ideas. Exempts medical marijuana from sales and use. That's also great. It's medicine. We should exempt medicine from that. Over here, it's smoking marijuana you have to smoke in a private residence or at a business license for on-site marijuana consumption. You can have up to 28 grams or an ounce of marijuana on you. That's a lot. You can. That's enough. That's certainly a good weekend.
You got a good evening. Yeah. You're golden.
Growing up to 6 marijuana plants and keeping the marijuana within a private home. And giving away up to 28 grams. Oh, so you can give someone an ounce of pot. That's good. So I'm all for Proposition 6. Now, Ron Placone, you already voted for it, correct?
I did, yeah, and I voted for it. And, I guess we should point out, it's not just bishops that worship at the altar of pseudoscience that are against 64. There are some other people that have some concerns that are valid. Some growers are worried about the restrictions and the regulation on their ability to grow. But something to keep in mind is that the state wants to have more regulation anyway. They're already they were already looking into that. The reason there's not a lot right now is because it's so new. What this would do is in the long run, because those restrictions, those limited on plants are for everyone, it could help prevent a monopolistic situation in the future. So a lot of the concerns about this proposition, while they're certainly valid, it seems like big picture, this is definitely a good thing to move forward with. And, of course, just the decriminalization is huge. But then another concern people brought up, the fact that it's already a misdemeanor in California for somebody under 21, well, all of a sudden that's a criminal offense now, whereas before it was just a misdemeanor for whoever.
Oh, no kidding.
That's a concern as well. That's a concern as well. But, when you look at it big picture, when you look at it, the ripples it could have federally, I certainly saw those concerns as very real, but overall I still
right now,
yes.
I you know what? I might vote. Now I'm thinking about it. I might vote against it.
It's a tough judgment call, man.
Because right now, anybody gets caught with pot, it's not a criminal offense. They can't put you in jail. According to the law, they can't put you in jail. We know cops do whatever they want. They don't care about the law, the First Amendment, or the Constitution. We know that. But technically, legally, right now, Arnold Schwarzenegger passed a law that said if you get caught with the marijuana, it's supposed to be the lowest priority crime they enforce, and then it's also supposed to be, it's just an infraction. It's not considered even a misdemeanor anymore. It's just an infraction, and they write you a ticket, like a jaywalking ticket. So this would then criminalize it, right?
Well, for people under 21 that aren't permitted to have it in the legal sense.
That's a direct point at minorities.
Yeah, that's another way to keep black kids, get them in the system, get them a criminal record.
Keep them forever
This is
poor.
tough now. It's going to pass.
That's why, it's going to pass, but that's why it's a little tough. Like, if we were a state that was starting from scratch, of course this should go through. Starting from scratch.
But we already have it.
But we already
pretty
have
much
the policies
legal.
we have. We have the medical marijuana.
It's already, we already have medical marijuana, and it's pretty much legal. Like, they're not supposed to throw you in jail for it. I don't like criminalizing people who use it.
Yeah.
This is tough.
Who put that in there?
This is tough.
What segment put that in?
Legalizes marijuana under state law for use by adults 21 or over.
Well,
so if you're under,
yeah,
that's where there's some slippery slopes.
Let's say they enforced it the way they enforce alcohol on minors. I'm not sure exactly how much trouble you get in if you're 18 years old and you get caught with beer or alcohol. You know what I mean? Like you do get in trouble, and it can be a misdemeanor. Right. I think it's a misdemeanor. But if it was something like that, maybe it wouldn't. I don't know. I'm just throwing that idea out there because that seems like a reasonable starting point.
This is a toughie. I don't know. I like the way things are. If you want marijuana, you can get it, and then they can't put you in jail even if you get caught without a license.
I think a good reason to vote though for it is that the influence California has on the rest of the country and the world. That shouldn't be discounted.
Yeah, that's an important
Because
factor.
this will it'll prove that it's like Colorado has done for the country, but California is so much bigger. It'll do that at an accelerated pace, and that'll promote marijuana legalization throughout the country, and hopefully that influences global drug policy.
Right.
Okay. Okay.
Except that, criminalizing.
I don't like voting for that makes something that's not criminal and makes it criminal.
I agree. That's
That
the
is a
slippery
tough
slope
thing.
folks are worried about.
Because it's already de facto illegal in California, so making it technically legal doesn't really make a big difference. I'm going to vote against it.
Oh wow!
I just have to vote against it.
Wow.
I got to vote. So I'm going to tell people to vote. I'm going to vote no on 6. If I'm going to look more into it, but if it criminalizes, like you say, people under 21.
Yeah, I literally decided on my way to go vote because I was listening to Democracy Now! In the car, and they were doing a whole segment about it. They had this woman that is in charge of drug policy for the route, and she kind of broke it down. And of course, she was asked about those valid concerns by Amy Goodman, because Amy Goodman's a real journalist and stuff. So it's a proper news show. But
So you weren't listening to NPR if you heard. You were listening to something
sir.
at Pacifica.
no, so yes,
Yeah, NPR
yes.
would never put the truth on.
No,
Go
no,
ahead.
no. Those nice, polite Republicans aren't touching that.
No.
But yeah, so she brought up those concerns, and the way the woman broke it down, she said, those are real concerns. Those are valid issues, but in the big scheme of things, and she brought up in regards to the under 21 thing, yes, that's legitimate, but to completely decriminalize it and legalize it for so many people over 21 and the effect that would have on the rest of the country. This
So now
is still,
everybody who's in prison for marijuana in California, would they let them out?
one would hope. Yeah.
Like, can you imagine if they legalized marijuana? They would have to let all those people out who they.
What if they're going to criminalize under 21, where they weren't criminals before? Then you're going to have a revolving door of people being let out and new people being put in. If they arrest them for that. Legal fees too.
Mm-hmm. So it's up to your call.
Tax.
There's a slippery
The
slope.
Jimmy Dore
but-
Show's official position is your call on Proposition 64.
And the Green Party does say yes.
I know a lot of good people say yes on this.
The lefty voter guide says no.
Says no.
So it's they say no. League of Women Voters says yes. That's what I said, man. I literally was so torn, and on my way there, and part of it was that Democracy Now! Segment where I was like, okay.
The only thing that scares me, Ron, is that the next proposition for legalization of marijuana will be even worse. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then that will pass. But this is going to pass. I just have.
It's going to pass.
This is going to pass, and so it's already too late. But all right, Proposition 64, the Jimmy Dore Show's official position. Your call.